Call of War has announced a change that has really upset the community. Resources Reinforced tested now on beta. Basically, they are making changes to the basic economy of Call of War. 2 resources, goods and rare materials will be removed from the game. And so these provinces will no longer be part of our economy. With few resources available, competition over the remaining 3, fuel, food and steel, will become more intense, leading to heightened conflict and more meaningful economical choices. How can you make meaningful economical choices if you only have 3 resources instead of 5? This means less strategy, man. You already had to conquer other players to get your resources 1 out of 5. In any case, it doesn't change a thing, man. You're still gonna have to conquer provinces to get resources. What resource you get in the end? That doesn't increase the conflict, man. It's not a rewarding strategic experience, as this shakes up the very fundamentals of Call of War. Well, that is a little understatement. Since the dawn of days, even in Call of War Classic, there have always been 5 resources, man. Don't oversimplify the game because it's too difficult for kids to play. Kids shouldn't play this game, period. There's already been a couple of changes to facilitate players with a shorter attention span by decreasing construction, research and production times for certain units. They've added these war bombs as well. Jesus, man. So loyal frontline pioneers will have plenty time to test this, and so the changes are available in new created beta games, and you can send the feedback in Discord. Map changes with the removal of goods and rare materials. They are given all maps a shake-up by redistributing the remaining resources, and there's 2 different setups. There's a layout where one resource is more plentiful than others, and a balanced layout where all resources are equally available. To maintain the overall cost balance, we have also had another look at production costs and changed the resource needs for different unit types. Before, similar units all use the same resources, but now it's shaken up for more variety. I mean, the same unit type should cost about the same thing because it's the same unit type, you know? For example, now interceptors mainly need food. An interceptor needs food? Are you kidding me? Since when is an interceptor made of food? Tactical bombers rely on oil. Strategical bombers use a mix of everything. Tactical bombers are made of steel, man. Are you freaking kidding me? This adds a fun twist to your build orders and trading with allies. Planning ahead just got a whole lot more rewarding for discerning strategists. Are you kidding me? They just have rendered every single guide of Call of War that I've made completely useless. Thanks a lot, Vitro. I've just jumped into a beta testing game to see how this new change will be implemented. So I produce 430 food an hour, 467 metal an hour, but only 285 oil, so that's not much. Production of manpower has stayed the same, so it's starting a regular Axis build. I'm gonna go with armored cars, cost 1950 steel, 1700 oil, and I'm also gonna need subs, 1350 food, 1900 steel. So I'm gonna need a naval base. Let's construct that over here. Tank plant in Uppsala, 1900 food, 1250 oil. Build. I don't have a lot of oil, so let's produce industry. Industry costs 850 food, 1000 steel and 1500 oil. So I'm gonna build this, and then in the remaining 3 cities I should build recruitment offices. 3900 food, 3000 steel, 1200 oil. Built. And I'm going down in resources fast, man. Actually, in Malmö I should cancel the recruitment station, and first I should build an aircraft factory. All unit production buildings, they cost the 3 resources basically, and an aircraft factory is pretty expensive. And now I am going to queue up the recruitment office. There we go. Let's have a look at these new costs. So the infantry branch mainly costs food, that's pretty logic. Motorized units cost oil and food, that's logical. Ordnance mainly costs steel and food. Motorized units, they cost steel and food, makes sense as well. Tank units cost steel and oil, that's logic too, got it. And whatever they've announced in their communication, you can see that strategical bombers, they don't use all of both. As you can see, all units cost the same in the air branch, food and oil, which doesn't make any sense to me. Should have been metal and oil. At least this makes more sense for the Navy. honestly. Steel and food, yeah, you need steel to produce your ships and you need food to maintain the crew. And of course, a battleship costs more steel than a cruiser. However, a cruiser costs more food than a battleship. How do you explain this? Because surely on a battleship the crew is more numerous than on a cruiser. This doesn't make any sense. Damn, rocket artillery are expensive. 2,420 steel and 1,210 food. What? Railroad gun. A railroad gun only costs 2,370 steel. So it costs more steel to produce a small rocket artillery than a giant railroad gun. Are you freaking kidding me? Come on, man. And how can you produce a uranium bomb without rare materials? It costs 10,000 oil. What are you going to do with your nuclear bomber? Bomb with napalm? Seriously? Another weird thing is that commandos need more steel than medium tanks. Look at that. Medium tanks, they cost 1,930 steel. Commandos cost 2,590 steel. What bullshit is this? This is some crap, man. This is too much, man. Pytro has finally broken the game. It's just bad changes after bad changes after bad changes. And I'm done with it, man. Each game I play, gold just gets worse. First we had the booster cards that were introduced. Then we had operations, where we have even gold operations where you get additional resources and unit cards if you buy gold. Then they started with unit cards, exclusive flame tank and amphibious tank. Now these war bonds, and each of these changes is just focused on making more money and inciting the use of the Schweppes shop. I'm getting tired of it, man, honestly. Also, the starting resources have been reduced in the past to incite the use of gold. They've reduced the research and building times and introduced war bonds to please players with a short attention span. And now they're oversimplifying the economy to render the game more accessible for the big public by making it easier. I've been playing very conservatively. In research, I have only researched armored car, submarine, interceptor, that's it. 3 units. Province administration, I've only built a tank plant, aircraft factory, a naval base, 4 recruitment stations and 1 industry, and you can see that I'm already very low on oil, steel and food. So if it's actually easier with less resources, I don't know. I'm running out of resources fast, which is going to obligate players to compensate this with gold. I think it's so obvious to see for everyone what the final game plan of Call of War is with this update, and honestly the game has changed so much over the past year that now Call of War has transformed beyond recognition, change after change. And honestly, I don't know how much longer I can take, man. These past few months, I've been hesitant about continuing playing Call of War, and this might actually be my final straw. I'm pretty pissed off, man. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and hit that bell button for notifications. I want to say a warm thank you to my members and elite members for supporting this channel.